All right, let's get into it. Today, we're going to crack open the technology that you use every single day, but probably never ever see. We're talking about those powerful little storage chips hiding deep inside your favorite electronics.
I mean, think about it, right? You've got thousands of photos, hours of video, tons of apps, all living inside a device that fits in your hand. How on earth is that possible? Well, it all comes down to a tiny, incredibly smart piece of hardware.
And that brings us to the star of our show today. We're going to take a close look at a very specific type of storage chip called an eMMC from a company that does one thing really, really well: advanced memory. So, the company behind this magic is XTX Technology Inc. These are the folks who design and build these super dense memory products that, honestly, our modern world just couldn't function without. You can think of them as the architects of the tiny digital spaces where all your data lives. Okay, yeah, that is a mouthful. That crazy string of letters and numbers is the official part number for the specific 64-gigabyte chip we're dissecting today. Don't worry, you don't have to memorize it. Just know that this is our little silicon specimen for the day. So what exactly is an eMMC? Well, it stands for Embedded Multimedia Card. But here's the key thing you need to know. It's not just memory. It's a whole storage system on a single chip. It packs the actual memory, the part that holds your data, together with a smart controller that manages everything. It's a complete package deal. And that combination, the memory plus the brain, is really the secret sauce here. It's what makes eMMCs so incredibly efficient. It's basically memory that can think for itself, which takes a huge, huge load off of your device's main processor. Let's take a look at how it's all put together. Now, I know this diagram might look a little complicated, but the idea is actually pretty simple. The host, that's your phone's main brain, doesn't have to sweat the small stuff. It just tells the device controller what it wants. And that controller, it acts like a tiny, super efficient manager, handling all the complex data tasks on its own. This frees up your phone's processor to do other things, which, for you, means a faster, smoother experience and even better battery life. Okay, so now that we know how it's built, let's talk about what it can actually do. We're talking about the kind of speed you can feel and the kind of reliability you can really count on. First up, read speed. We're looking at 315 megabytes per second. So what does that actually mean for you? Well, that's the speed that lets your apps pop open instantly, your high-res photos show up right away, and your videos play back without any of that annoying stuttering. And then you've got write speed at 215 megabytes per second. This is all about how fast new information gets saved. So think about when you're snapping a bunch of photos in a row or downloading a big file. A high write speed is what makes that whole process feel totally seamless. But it gets even faster. This chip has a special high-speed mode called HS400 that can push data transfers all the way up to 400 megabytes a second. That kind of speed is absolutely critical for really data-heavy jobs, like, say, recording 4K video directly onto your device. Of course, speed doesn't mean a thing if your data isn't safe, and this chip has some serious safety nets built right in. You've got things like error correction, which is basically a constant spell check to keep your data from getting corrupted. It has sudden power failure protection, so if your battery dies unexpectedly, your files are still safe. It's also built for a super long life, so it's durable, and, maybe coolest of all, it can get firmware updates, which means the chip can actually get better and more secure over time. So, we've seen the specs, we know it's fast and reliable, but where does this stuff actually show up in the real world? Well, the answer is pretty much everywhere. Let's look at the huge range of gadgets that depend on chips just like this one. And here we go. I mean, just look at this list. It's in the phone in your pocket, the tablet in your bag, the digital TV in your living room. It's in your e-reader, your camera, your media players. It's just so versatile. Its tiny size and all-in-one design make it the perfect solution for a massive, massive range of the electronics we use every day. So how do companies like Samsung or Sony or whoever, how do they get their hands on these tiny, absolutely essential components? Well, it's not as simple as just placing an order online. It's all about a really complex and fascinating global supply chain. Remember that crazy long part number from the beginning? It turns out it's not random at all. Every part of that code tells the manufacturer exactly what the chip is, its size, its operating temperature, everything. And making sure those exact parts get from the factory to the device makers, that's the vital job of global distributors like eBetter Company Limited. They are that crucial link in the chain. And you really don't have to take my word for it. This quote from XTX's own technical data sheet just sums it all up perfectly. This thing wasn't designed for just one niche product. It was engineered from the ground up to be a universal solution. It's one of the true building blocks of our digital world. And this technology is definitely not standing still. Today, we're talking about 64 gigs in a chip the size of a fingernail. But our demand for more data in even smaller spaces is just relentless. So that kind of leaves us with a final question to chew on. As our world creates more and more data, what incredible innovations will the next generation of storage bring? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me.